I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump filed multiple motions to dismiss indictments in various jurisdictions on Thursday. Let me break down the frivolous motion to dismiss the indictment in the Washington, D.C. case being prosecuted by Special Counsel Jack Smith for Donald Trump's attempt to overthrow the free and fair election of 2020. Donald Trump filed a motion to dismiss the indictment on Thursday, arguing that based on presidential immunity, he's allowed to overthrow our democracy. And one of the most absurd arguments that he made in his brief is that the failure to be convicted by the Senate at the impeachment proceedings gives him immunity from criminal charges. Well, Republican Senator Mitch McConnell may find that interesting because McConnell said that by the Republicans giving Trump a reprieve and acquitting him when he absolutely shouldn't, McConnell says that the sole remedy should be in the criminal case. Play this clip of Mitch McConnell.
While former officials were not eligible for impeachment or conviction, they were, and this is extremely important, still liable to be tried and punished in the ordinary tribunals of justice. Put another way, in the language of today, President Trump is still liable for everything he did while he was in office as an ordinary citizen. Unless the statute of limitations is run, still liable for everything he did while he's in office. Didn't get away with anything yet. We have a criminal justice system in this country. We have civil litigation. And former presidents are not immune from being accountable by either one.
Back to Donald Trump's frivolous brief. Donald Trump starts off by calling himself the president, which he is not, and he moves to dismiss the indictment. This case is set for trial, folks, the first week of March in 2024. Donald Trump's going to have to show up each and every single day, and we saw, for example, in the New York civil fraud case, Donald Trump was unable to control himself in a court of law for even 2.5 days. But here, Donald Trump's lawyers make the following argument. I want you to see how specious and frivolous their argument is. They argue, the President of the United States sits at the heart of our system of government. He is our nation's leader, our head of state, and our head of government. As such, the founders tasked the President, and the President alone, with the sacred obligation of taking care that the laws be faithfully executed. United States Constitution, Article 2, Section 3. Let's pause right there. I don't think our founders wanted somebody like Donald Trump, number one, or certainly someone who led an insurrection to overthrow our democracy, someone who's called for the execution of our top military general, now former top military general Mark Milley, somebody who praises our enemies, who wants to destroy our alliances, who releases music with the insurrectionists, somebody who tries to overthrow our democracy each and every day. Let's go on. To ensure the president may serve unhesitatingly without fear that his political opponents may one day prosecute him for decisions they dislike, the law provides immunity for acts within the outer perimeter of the president's official responsibility. So they're arguing insurrections fall within the outer perimeter because they argue that this would freeze the president from engaging in future insurrections if they knew that they could be criminally prosecuted for their insurrections. They argue that insurrections are within the outer perimeter of the president's duties. Like, can you believe what they're arguing here? And then it goes, breaking 234 years of precedent, the incumbent administration has charged President Trump for acts that lie not just within the outer perimeter, but at the heart of his official responsibilities as president. Number one, again, you are not the president. And at the heart of your responsibilities is not after you lose an election, as part of your campaign PAC activity, you throw an event where you lead an insurrection. This has nothing to do with presidential duties at all. And you want me to prove it to you in another way, using Donald Trump's strategy in another case to prove it? I could prove it in every which way, which is just we can observe with our eyes what the insurrection was, and that clearly that's not part of what the roles and responsibilities are of a former president. But if indeed, Donald Trump, you believe that this was at the heart of your presidential duties, why then, in connection with the Fulton County District Attorney case brought by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, then why wouldn't you remove it to federal court? Because your argument there would be that if you believe this was at the heart of your responsibilities, I thought you wanted to testify. I thought you were a tough guy. I thought you were a strong guy. I thought you would testify, right? I mean, and go to the federal judge and say, look, this is at the heart of my responsibilities. But no, you are a coward. You were so cowardly that you dismissed the case that you filed against Michael Cohen because you wouldn't sit for a deposition. I did a video hit on that as well.
Good health starts with good habits. Quip makes it easy by delivering all the oral care essentials you need to take care of your mouth. The Quip electric toothbrush has timed sonic vibrations with 30-second pulses to guide you to a dentist-recommended 2-minute clean. It's lightweight and sleek. The design is for adults and kids with no wires or bulky chargers to weigh you down. The Quip toothbrush also has a multi-use travel cover that doubles as a mirror mount for less clutter and reusable handles in a range of sleek metal hues as well as bright plastic colors, sure to make a pop to your bathroom counter. And so you know, the electric toothbrush isn't all Quip has to offer. The water flosser hits all the right spots with a gentle or deep clean pressure at the touch of a button, and the Quip mints and gum are incredibly refreshing. I truly have Quip to thank for my entire dental care routine, and I don't know where I'd be without them. So listen, it's time to skip the batteries and snap into healthy habits with the new Quip rechargeable electric toothbrush. All the features of the original Quip plus one magnetic charge powers up to 3 months of brushing. If you go to getquip.com/Meidas right now, you'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, and water flosser. That's 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, and water flosser at getquip.com/Meidas, spelled GETQUIP.com/Meidas. Quip, the good habits company.
And right here, you're making this argument at the heart of the responsibilities of the president is an insurrection. It's so utterly offensive what he's saying right there. You go into the legal arguments that he makes. It says the president has absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for actions performed within the outer perimeter of his official responsibility. And then they cite the Fitzgerald case, which says, quote, in view of the special nature of the president's constitutional office and functions, a current or former president has absolute presidential immunity from civil damages liability for acts within the outer perimeter of his official responsibility. By the way, the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeal, the D.C. federal judge Amit Mehta, they've already ruled on this in the civil context, that the conduct at issue falls outside, even within the outside perimeter of what the duties are. As Judge Mehta said, this had nothing to do with the roles of a president. And two, it would make no sense for you to argue conduct falls within the outer limits of a constitutional perimeter where your underlying objectives are to overthrow our Constitution. You can't invoke constitutional immunities in a document you are trying to clearly destroy. Would just make no sense. Then A argument, the doctrine of separation of powers and the president's unique role in our constitutional structure require immunity from criminal prosecution. So here Donald Trump argues he shouldn't be prosecuted at all for his conduct. B, you could just commit crimes. Presidents can do anything they want to do, commit crimes, overthrow democracy, lead a fascist revolution against America. But, it's fine within Article 2. It's clearly false. B, impeachment and conviction by the Senate provide the exclusive method of proceeding against a president for crimes in office. Just false. 234 years of history and tradition support presidential immunity. 234 years of history, we didn't have a despicable, traitorous, treasonous piece of crap like you who tried to overthrow our democracy in clear and present view of all of us. Think about just how he uses our great Constitution to try to justify the destruction of our Constitution. Malignant, narcissistic, abusive behavior by someone who hates this country. Let's be clear. Donald Trump hates America and wants to destroy our country, and it's so important we push back against his dangerous views like this. Without immunity, this is his argument, without immunity, the president would be harassed by vexatious actions. Okay, vexatious actions are what you file against people. You've been labeled the vexatious litigant by multiple federal judges now. You're the vexatious litigant. Not giving a criminal immunity will not lead to vexatious actions. It will lead to accountability. And then it goes on to just whine more about the same stuff I've just said. Folks, Judge Tanya Chutkan is going to reject this. This is instantly dead on arrival when it's filed. But I wanted to go through it with you just so you can see how frivolous it is and look at the arguments. Folks, it is so important that we hold this individual accountable and all those who aid and abet him. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Have a fantastic day.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.